Chance Perez, how you doing? Power Rangers Dino Fury is on Netflix season 2. It's streaming now. It's so
Yes.
bingeable. Look, me and my 6-year-old, literally, she cannot stop watching it. And this is a proud papa here, is passing down the next generation of Power Rangers to her. Literally, I tried shutting it off and it was like, no, I need to watch this with you. So, it's making quite an impact. First question I have for you though, man, is can you talk to me about your early experience with Power Rangers? It's been around for almost 30 years now.
Yeah. Are you talking about early experience, like filming wise, or just in?
No, just your own personal early experience with Power Rangers.
Oh, well, I mean, I got into Power Rangers when I was a little kid. I had like the action figures, the sabers, the underwear. I had the suit. I had everything, man. And the morphers. And it's just been such a big part of my life since growing up, and like part of my childhood. And the fact that I get to do it now is just, such a childhood dream come true. It's great.
One of the things I love about this season and the characters is the interactions that you guys have with your parents. I know that your character and Izzy are brother and sister, but it really seems like the father is very supportive of Izzy's athleticism, and was at the beginning at least less so supportive of Chase's music. Can you talk to me a little bit about relating parents to kids in something like Power Rangers? Because as an older fan now, it's something I look at and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, just like that dynamic between, I mean, for me and Warden Garcia, or for Javi and Warden Garcia, like, you're right. He's way more supportive of Izzy with her athleticism and her career, like, of being an athlete. And he's looking at his son like, he's just playing music. Like, where are you going to go with that?
Right.
And, that struggle between them, and like that struggle to understand each other and where each other is coming from, you kind of see that come to fruition in season 2. And it's such a relatable thing, I feel like, in real life, is like some people have that dynamic with, whether it is a father or a mother or a brother or sister or something like that, people can relate to that. So I think that that's really special, for the viewers out there.
Absolutely. Now, apart from your music, because I know that's a big passion of yours, what else do you share in common with Javi?
Good question. I think honesty is something that I share with Javi. And, I really tried to ground a lot of my being into him. And like, Power Rangers, they're always trying to do their best and, treat people with the utmost love and respect that they can, and be there for one another. And I try to do that in my life as much as I can to the best of my ability. So I think just like that honesty and treating people with kindness, I really try to implement into the character and also into my day-to-day.
The one thing I also love about this show is that the lessons that are taught through the storytelling, aside from the action and the Zords and the monsters, there are some real lessons to learn, especially for young kids out there. What did you want to bring to the role of Javi in season 2 that wasn't necessarily on the page?
Man, you got some good questions, dude.
Thank you.
I think in season 1, he was a little bit more reserved, in the sense, like, he spoke like when he felt like there was something to add to the conversation. And in this one, you get to see a little bit more of like the goofier side of Javi, which is fun to play with. And but he's also got that very courageous side, which I think shows in season 1 as well as season 2. But like having a little bit more of that personality show of like that goofiness that Javi encapsulates is nice to present on screen.
It can't be shooting this show in general. From what I hear, you guys shoot 3 episodes at a time. There's action, there's ADR, but it has to be even harder in the course of a pandemic. Can you talk to me about shooting a show like this in a pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, I will say we were very blessed to be able to shoot it in New Zealand, where at the time there was no pandemic. It was, it was wonderful. Like we had like a couple of, I think there's maybe like 3 times where we would shut down for like a week, maybe, because there was a scare in like in a hotel, like an isolated hotel, and everyone would stay in for a week, and then we were back to normal after it went away. So the majority of filming over those 10 months, we were, mask free. So it was very beautiful. We're really lucky.
Now, there's always this fabled Power Rangers boot camp that actors go through before getting on the show. Can you talk to me a little bit about what you learned through that training of the boot camp, but also what you can take with you to further your career?
Great question. I use what I learned from the 3 weeks of stunt training from the Japanese stunt team, like in my day-to-day now. And one of the
Wow.
biggest things, yeah, one of the biggest things that they taught us was just like how important stretching is. And like I feel like we all know that on some level, but we don't do it enough. And when we did those 3 weeks of training, they taught us like all the punches and kicks, sure, like in fight choreography and things like that. But every day they would get someone to like push our backs down and like stretch us all the way over this way and touch the toes on either side. And it's stuff that you just don't normally do. So I realized the benefits after that in New Zealand and try to incorporate that now too. So
that's amazing. That's amazing. Now, look, Power Rangers, especially in the season 2 that we have in Dino Fury on Netflix streaming now, the action has really stepped up its game. And that's saying a lot for Power Rangers already. I really want to talk about some of the action sequences that we see, because it seems like they're getting pushed more to the limits now with Netflix. There's a great scene in season 2 between Zato and Chance with the Dino Knight armor. Can you talk to me about that scene and just pushing the limitations of action?
Yeah, I mean, that was a really fun scene. Like, I think especially everything leading up to it, where Zato and I were talking in the base of like, just like Red Ranger to Black Ranger, that camaraderie. It was the first like real intense scene that just he and I had shared. And it was really cool. And like, I don't know, it probably has been done before, like Rangers training like against one another.
Sure.
But like in that aspect, like he was really using every power that was in his arsenal to like, really attack Zato and be like, listen, man, I'm not holding back, because you're going to be up for the fight of your life. So I'm going to give you everything I got. And like seeing that stuff was just it was just really a pleasure to see. Like, it was great.
Yeah. Like I said, it really felt like, you're right. I mean, we've seen Rangers face off like that, but never, I feel like to that extent with two people that were on the same team. And I feel that like that, it was really cool seeing that visually. Now, look, one of the things that you guys are known for doing too is going out to New Zealand and shooting the show. I think it's something that kind of goes overlooked a lot. You spend months there. Talk to me about how you cope with the homesickness.
I definitely missed my family a lot. I will say, like, we got to talk to them, through FaceTime and stuff like that, which was great. And of course, like, I missed like my bed. That was like a big thing too. But New Zealand is just such a beautiful country. Like, I would love to retire there, like in like my 50s or whenever retirement comes around for me. Like, that's a place that I would love to settle down, because it is just so magnificent. I always describe it as living in a Pixar movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Now, Power Rangers, you guys shot 22 episodes for the first season and 22 episodes for this season. We've had the first 11 on Netflix currently. If you can jog your memory back with all the content and all the footage you've done, what episode kind of sticks out to you the most that you shot?
That I shot?
Yeah.
There's definitely a few that come to mind. A couple have not aired yet.
Okay.
So I can't talk about those ones, but one that stands out for me is one that is in season 2 that you have seen, or maybe, I don't know.
Yes.
But the talent show where they need like a guitarist because the guitarist dips, and I have to come in and do a solo, and like that was so much fun to film and like to learn how to play that guitar solo. I spent like a week and a half, 2 weeks practicing that, just getting ready for the day, and I enjoyed it so thoroughly. That's one that stands out.
That's another cool thing about Power Rangers. I feel like as actors, you really get a chance to explore so many different options of entertainment. And I'm just talking about like the stunt side, the acting side, the ADR side. It really encompasses a lot of things that people just don't really take in consideration. Along that same path, what do you think is the most valuable lesson you learned while your time with Power Rangers, whether it be through pre-production or post?
I remember towards the end of filming, I was like, because we filmed really long hours, and like you said, like there's so much that goes into it, and it's just getting into those emotions right when you need to multiple times. Like if you're having an emotional scene and they're shooting from one angle, they get it like 5 times, and like, okay, same scene, and you got to like tap into that. So it gets like to this point where it's like, okay, I need to pace myself. It's important to take those breaks and like just like relax for a second, be like, okay, like you can't run at 100 the entire time. You know what I mean? You got to pace. So that was something I learned.
Are you guys shooting usually linearly? Like, is it usually episodically? Or, I mean, I know you guys shoot 3 episodes at a time, or are you guys shooting like 3 episodes literally at a time and they're just kind of pacing it together in the back?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes we would get 3 episodes every 2 weeks, I think, if I remember correctly. And there would be times where we shot like for 1 episode and then we would jump 2 episodes ahead, like get in costume change, go to that scene. And then at the end of the day, we're shooting like an action scene that was in an episode that we missed last week that we just had to make up for. So we were all over the place.
That's an incredible schedule you guys keep up. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got to ask about props, because Power Rangers is known for having these cool props that are loved by fans like myself all around. Did you happen to get, did you keep anything from set that you could talk about?
I have the suit.
There you go.
Yeah, they were so cool about it. They sent us all like one of the they sent us the suit along with the gauntlets and gloves and the boots, and like the white like undergarment and stuff. So like we have the entire suit, which is such a cool item to have at your house.
Right.
Yeah, so we had that.
That's very cool. Now, one of the things with Power Rangers that every year I feel like the morph sequence gets progressively harder. Was that who struggled the most with that? And was that a complicated thing to learn?
Yeah. I think, I don't know if anyone like struggled in particular.
I would have struggled.
Tessa was the last, you would have struggled.
Definitely.
Tessa was the last one to come on to the team. So she learned it like a couple days after we had. So if anything, she had like a bit of catching up to do for that, but I don't think she like struggled with it too much. You know, like they were really in depth about every single movement, and we were able to ask questions. And you know, like we go like this and say Dino Fury key. They're like, they would stop us at that motion. They're like, okay, put your arm down a little bit here, tilt the key a little bit there, like, and they would like do all these little things, and we would do it so many times that it just became
muscle memory. Yeah,
muscle memory.
Wow, that's incredible. You know, out of all the past Rangers that have been on the show, has there been one that you've thought to yourself, you know what, I would love a team up with Javi and said Ranger?
I mean, I remember watching Time Force and thinking like Red Ranger, not
Jason Font. Yeah, Jason Font. Yeah,
Jason Font. Yes. I remember like thinking like, oh, that is the coolest Ranger like in the world, like as a kid watching that. And then also, I think it was, correct me if I got his color wrong, but he had a motorcycle also in Time Force. I think he was blue. Is that right? Or is he black?
Lucas. Yeah. Blue. Yep.
Yeah, blue. I remember those two guys. I was like, those guys are so cool. Like I would love to do some kind of team up with them if that were ever to happen. That
sounds a lot of fun. I would love to see that too. Now, I got to ask you, because season 2, we only got the first half of the first 11 episodes. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because coming to Netflix, and maybe it's just a generational thing, because I remember watching it Saturday mornings. It was like very self-contained episodes. The further we got, the more serialized the storytelling was. But really, with bingeability, you really can tell these longer form stories throughout the course of this 22 season. And like I said, we got the first 11 episodes, but there's a lot of cliffhangers.
Yeah.
What can fans expect, without giving any spoilers away, in the second half of season 2?
I think definitely Russell said it really well. He said, expect the unexpected, because there are a lot of plot twists that you really like. Ranger fans seem to be really good about guessing like what's going to happen, but I feel like there's going to be some twists that they won't foresee. And there's also like a lot of character growth, as you have seen thus far, but like especially in the back half, there's a few things that happen that kind of like force these Rangers in a way to grow up to a certain degree. And especially with it being Netflix, you're able to take it to certain places. So like, I won't say any more than that, but you'll see a lot of growth in these characters, and it's a wonderful storyline.
Chance, you were amazing job on Power Rangers. I love the show. I love you guys. Look, season 2 is airing right now on Netflix. We got to catch that second half, because I can't wait to see how it all wraps out. And I'm really, really excited, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of just answered questions that fans are going to lose their minds over. But Chance, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joseph. Thanks for having me, and say hi to your daughter for me.
Absolutely. Thank you.